Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record every Mondays at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time. If you enjoy the channel, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on and you will get an email link with this full episode. And if you want to submit to this show, take a look at the information in the description.
Okay, yeah, we're playing 5-5 in San Diego, 7 Miles Casino.
Okay, so 5-5, 7 Mile. Okay.
The main villain in the hand is, I would call him a serious recreational player. He's a winning player, but not something, it's not crashing the game. I would characterize him as a level 2 player, a little passive, but not a fish.
Okay. Okay.
So I raised to 25 under the gun. I have 810 bucks in front of me
Okay.
with black sevens.
Okay. 7 of spades, 7 of clubs, under the gun to 25.
Yeah, this is like the bottom of my under the gun opening range.
Okay.
And I get 5 calls.
Five
The
calls.
4 calls are, yeah, the four calls have position on me,
Okay.
and then the small blind.
So 4 callers, IP, and small blind. Okay. So we're looking at a pot of what? Geez, 125, right?
No, 150.
Or 150.
5 calls.
Oh, yeah. Six times 25. Yep.
Six-way flop. Yeah.
Okay.
So the flop comes 7 of hearts,
Yep.
eight of clubs, and
Okay.
9 of diamonds.
So 7, 8, 7 of hearts, 8 of clubs, 9 of diamonds. So 7, 8, 9, right? Rainbow board. Is that right?
Yeah, and the small blind checks.
Okay.
Should I see bet?
Well, this is a pretty good example. I was actually thinking about this hand as I drove over from my lift from I was looking at my notes as the hands that were about to call in from as I was taking my lift from the airport today. And this is kind of the difference, I think, between where you're going to exploit in a lot of sort of mid-stakes live no limit hold'em, and where you might want to balance in other particular situations at the higher stakes. This is even more of an extreme scenario because it's so multi-way. But what I would say, and just follow along with me, is that I would be mostly betting here at this level, even this many handed. Now, at the higher stakes, you actually might develop a check 100 type of range on certain boards like this, like a 6, 7, 8, a 7, 8, 9, especially if 2 people called you in the field. And the reason why you would do that is because you're sort of protecting your range, right? Like your range doesn't hit 6, 7, 8 all that hard. Let's say you're not opening, or let's say 5, 6, 7, right? You're not even opening, like maybe like pocket sevens is the only hand that you have. The point is that you wouldn't have a lot of the sets. A lot of these guys would have straights. They can eat you alive. So you also want to have some boards where you check and you're not just going to check fold, right? That's the high stakes sort of balance concept. I think a lot of that stuff can be thrown out the window at this level. I would not be checking boards 100 at 5-5, probably not even at 5-10. So I would bet here more often than not. And I would just say that if pressure is put upon you, you have to understand that, there's a full complement of Jack 10s out there. And some people might even have 5-6. I mean, 5-6 suited is only 4 combinations. So it would be interesting to see what happens if somebody put heat on you, basically. So I would bet.
All right. So I see bet 75.
Okay.
The first player folds.
Okay.
I get a call from the villain in the hand, the middle position. He
Okay.
covers me. He has 1,500.
Okay.
A couple more folds, and
Okay.
then the small blind check raises all in for 175.
175 total.
Yeah. So this is my second question.
Yeah.
Do we call or do I re-raise?
So, did you say that the MP1 player was the second level player? He's the primary villain?
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. The small blind is a fish. He doesn't.
And
matter.
the small
The
blind,
level-
the
the
small
level
blind
two-
is just a fish, huh?
Yeah.
I would probably proceed here with the call, to be perfectly honest with you, because what do you really need to drive out? I mean, I understand that there's dead money in there. You'd like to get it heads up. But I mean, if the MP1 has a hand like a 10 in it, like 10-9, I mean, those types of cards are going to be somewhat transparent on the turn. So even though, if the board came out like 7-4-5, or I mean, excuse me, 7-deuce-3 or something like that, and you had aces and there was a two flush out there and you didn't think someone was slow playing and you wanted to re-raise back over the top or on some other board texture, I could probably get on board with it. I think this might be a little bit dicey. You might get the best of both worlds by playing the hand sort of as a pull and also not overplaying, because I feel like if you re-raise here and then you get called, or even if you get shoved on, but let's say you get called, you're in that in-between spot here, Stavros, where I talk about how you don't want to make a bet or a raise, such an aggressive action where when you're called, you're like, oh shit. And I feel like if you 3-bet this check raise, and the stacks are kind of odd too, like say you make it 350 to 400, and then you get called by the MP1, we might be in an oh shit spot, right? Now, if the MP1 is bad enough where you think, no, I want him to call, we're not in an oh shit spot, then that's something different. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation where when you raise and you get called, you're like, have I overplayed it? So that's why I might lean towards just a call.
Okay, I understand your thinking. So let me make another question.
Yeah.
If I call, so I saw weakness, and then he raises.
Mm-hmm.
I should call, right?
You mean
Obviously.
like if he were to back jam like all in? You mean?
Well, no, to raise to 375 or 400.
I mean, that would
call
look
175, and he raises to 500.
I got to be honest with you. That first of all, number one, that's a very, very rare scenario. And number two, I would say that that's almost always nutted. If you get back raised here by the initial caller, the guy is almost always nutted, meaning like he's going to have a jack 10. It's even easier because you have bottom set. He's slow playing a set. It's just he is extremely, extremely nutted in a situation like that. Like I said, it's not going to happen all that much, but if you're asking me, I bet this guy call, small blind check raise to 175, I call, and then the field raiser back raises. Now, if you had somebody like me, who is the MP1, who might pull some shit like this, and I remember hands like this at Commerce at 510 from years ago where I said, you can really attack the pre-flop raiser when they check raise a board like this as the pre-flop raiser. Instead of c-betting, they check raise a board like this. You can really attack them with the back raise, because what are they going to do with one pair? That would be a similar situation, even though I realize you're not check raising, but I just don't know if people are at that level in MP1 to be like, okay, I'm going to squeeze the pre-flop raiser with like a hand like Jack 9, which I know is not good, but I'll just treat it like a 7-out draw or something like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Or a 7 and 8-out draw.
I understand, but I was at the time I was thinking that if I just call the 175, I will be capping my range to over pairs, and then he could even raise back raise with 2 pair or 9-10.
Well, yeah, but I mean, are you saying that the MP1 guy is going to back raise you with 9-10 because he feels like that you
because he thinks I have an over because
you said he was level 2, Stavros, level 2 player.
Level 2.
He's level 2 back raise semi bluff. Come on.
I think that my hand would be transparent. I mean, because I raised under the gun and I just called the 175.
Yeah, but anyway. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like in theory, yes, but I mean, are you supposed to have like 3 bets? Like what hands are you 3-betting there with though? Is it just like Jack 10? The point is that the board doesn't really favor you all that much. And yes, some people can take advantage of you, but they don't in this particular scenario, which allows you to even c-bet the flop, which was what I was getting back to in the beginning. So it sounds to me like you re-raised.
All right. Okay, yeah, I re-raised to 375.
Okay.
and they were winning the reg the level 2 reg calls.
Okay. Level 2
Okay.
calls.
So now we have a main pot of 675
Okay. Yep.
and we have a side pot of 400.
Thank you for doing the math, by the way. I appreciate that. So main pot
Yeah,
675,
and
side pot 400. Okay. Yep.
and I have 410 behind.
You have 410 behind. Okay.
Yeah, and turn comes the terrible 10 of diamonds.
Turn comes a 10 of diamonds. I mean, he really shouldn't have many sixes here. This is a real sticky spot here, right? So obviously a jack comes through. The pot's 1075, and you have
410.
410 left. So if you were to check and he were to move all in, you'd be getting 3.5 to 1. And then you've got a somewhat protected main pot here as well. I mean, my gut says right here, because of the fact that this will be an underbluffed spot because there's a main pot here, that I might check here and the guy's not really going to bet off all that much if he checks it back. I mean, I think it's real awkward with the stacks, obviously, because you're going to be getting almost 3.5 to 1 anyways. You've got 10 outs to a boat. You only need 4.5 to 1. But normally I don't see people sort of attack a side pot in this manner where, but then again, like, does he think like 10-9 is the nuts here or something like that? I still think my gut here is to check, even though I'm not exactly sure how many sixes or jacks has he has here.
Well, if I did the math correctly, I have the direct odds to call.
You'd have the direct odds to call for 400? 410?
Yeah.
It would be what?
Yeah, because
the pot would be what, like 1,500, 410 to call?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he has it straight, right, you've got 10 outs. So you need about excuse me, you're right, 3.5.
22%.
Right, 3.5 to 1. I said 4.5. You have 1 and 4.5.
Yeah.
3.5 to 1.
Yeah. So I thought that since I do have the odds to call, and I will call if he jams, I should not give him a free card, and I should not let 2 pairs off the hook, and I bet 300.
Okay, I mean, bet 300, jam yourself. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's awkward. So you have a couple of options. Like I said, for some reason I thought it was 4.5 to 1, but you're right, it's 3.5 to 1. So if you're getting the odds to call anyways, right? Then then maybe a check call all in, like this guy in the chat, Roy Crosby. A check call all in might be the play. Now, if you're saying you're scared that you're somehow going to leave value against 2 pair, I mean, that like a hand like 10-9 might check back. If you went check and it went check back and then you didn't see a one-liner at the end, you could probably get some value and you'd probably get called. I'm not exactly sure the bet for 3. Why not just shove? You only have you only have a small part.
Yeah, I know. I treat it as an all-in. I just to make it easier to call.
Okay, so hero bets 300.
And a villain calls. The river comes a king of clubs.
Well, then you have to move in.
I go all in 110.
Yep.
He calls, and I win both pots.
Did you ever see what the guy had?
No.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably. I mean, obviously he must have 2 pair here, right? But I just wonder.
Like nine.
Yeah, I just wonder if you check here. I guess this is really what it comes down to, and I'm not exactly sure what the best play is here, right? It's either you check, you get him to overplay something, right, that he would otherwise fold to a shove. Like somehow if you shoved and he folded 2 pair, right? Because there's not, like, say he had like 8-9 and he was playing it sort of slow, and now you shoved on the turn and he folded. Whereas if you checked, you might get some value at the end. There shouldn't really be a whole lot of bluffs there too. I don't know, it's kind of interesting, right? Like if you had more money where you could fold to a shove, I definitely like a check evaluate. In this spot, I don't think that the 10 is as scary as it looks. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind the play. I would probably just shove the turn though. I you know what I mean, as opposed to just betting 300. But it's an interesting hand. Thank you for the call. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.